Welcome back to Editor's Roundtable. We spoke about the banking sector, we spoke about the auto sector. Now let's turn our attention to the telecom sector. It's not often that we talk about the telecom companies because there are just 2.5 of them right now. But I want to put on board how the performance has been in the quarter gone by. For starters, and that's the big takeaway, revenue growth for the telecom companies, the top three. We're talking about Bharti's India Wireless revenues, Reliance Jio and Vodafone Idea. Revenues for these three players has declined to a near 2-year low. Revenue growth was a modest 1% on a quarter-on-quarter basis and just up 10% on a year-on-year basis. And this is the slowest growth that we've seen in the last 7 quarters. The reason for that is a lack of an ARPU uptake. So the last time when we had a big price increase in the prepaid category was in November and December of 2021, which basically means 1.5 years ago. The entire benefit of that 20% price increase has flowed through already. And this quarter, the average revenue per user for all these telecom companies have been absolutely flat on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So revenue growth has slowed down, and if revenue growth needs to pick up from here on, we need to see a price increase, the prepaid 4G tariff increase. Amongst the three players, this time it's Reliance Jio, which has clocked in a slightly better growth at 1.7% growth on a quarter-on-quarter basis. But year-on-year, Reliance Jio and Bharti's numbers look fairly comparable. The second big takeaway is the capex spend by Vodafone Idea, and that has dwindled just down to 3,360 crore. This is the lowest spend in terms of Vodafone's capex since its merger in 2018-2019. And Vodafone Idea's capex spend is about 7 to 12% of its peers. It's about 7% of Reliance Jio's capex and about 12% of Bharti Airtel's India capex, which basically then raises the question is that if we have such a sharp divergence in capex between one player, Vodafone Idea, and the other, that's Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio, will we see an acceleration in market share loss? Will players like Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio further gain market share? They anyway have been over the last many quarters now. The market share gains have been quite phenomenal, close to about 2% each for Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio over the last 2 years. But is this something which is going to continue? So that's been the big takeaway from the telecom space. One, the revenue growth has slowed down in Q4 for the Indian mobile wireless space for the lowest that we've seen in the last 2 years. And second, Vodafone Idea's capex is at the lowest level since its merger, and it's just a fraction, 10% of what peers like Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio have done in terms of capex, which raises the prospect of more market share losses. Gautam, any